On a chilly Friday morning, in a small town where everyone knew each other's names but not everyone's struggles, Daniel's old pickup truck rattled to a stop in front of the auto shop. He stepped out, brushing off the grease already on his hands, his faded shirt clinging to him from hours of labor at two different jobs. He wasn't the kind of man people noticed in passing, just a single dad, quiet, shoulders heavy from life's burdens, and eyes that carried both exhaustion and hope. But that day, his life was about to intersect with someone completely opposite of him, someone who lived in boardrooms, not garages. Her name was Victoria Hartwell, a powerful CEO who commanded attention with her sharp suits, sharper words, and a confidence that often left men speechless. She wasn't from this town. She was in transit. Her sleek black car had broken down miles from the city, and every mechanic she'd called said they couldn't fix it until Monday. Time wasn't a luxury she had. Deals worth millions waited on her signature. That's how she ended up here, standing in Daniel's shop with her designer heels tapping against the oil-stained floor, impatience dripping from every movement. Daniel looked up, his hands still blackened from working on another engine. "Can I help you?" he asked gently, though his voice carried the fatigue of someone who hadn't had a full night's rest in weeks. She looked around the shop like it was beneath her. "They say you're the only one in town who can fix this car. It's a foreign model. Most wouldn't know where to start. Think you're up for it." Her words had an edge, the kind that made people defensive. But Daniel wasn't like most people. He simply nodded. "I'll do my best," he said. She crossed her arms, her eyes narrowing with a mix of mockery and disbelief. "Your best. If you fix it today, I'll marry you." She said it like a joke, laughing at her own words. The few bystanders in the shop chuckled nervously, but Daniel didn't laugh. He just wiped his hands on a rag, walked over to her sleek car, and popped the hood. For Victoria, it was sarcasm. For Daniel, it was a challenge, but not because he wanted her hand. He had something far more valuable than pride to fight for: his daughter, 7-year-old Lily, with her messy hair and love for bedtime stories, was waiting at school for a father who always kept his promises, even when the world didn't keep theirs. Hours passed. Victoria sat in the corner, scrolling on her phone, sighing dramatically every few minutes. She couldn't believe she was stuck in a place like this with someone like him. But then, something shifted. She began to notice things: the way Daniel worked without complaint, the way he paused to answer a teenage boy's question about engines, the way he gently explained every step as though teaching mattered just as much as fixing. She caught glimpses of pictures taped above his workbench: a little girl with a wide smile, holding what looked like a homemade birthday cake. Her mocking smirk softened just a little. When Daniel finally emerged from under the hood, sweat glistening across his forehead, he turned the key. The engine roared back to life, smooth and powerful, as if it had never broken down. The small crowd that had gathered clapped, but Daniel just exhaled quietly and looked at Victoria. "There you go. It's fixed." She stood frozen, staring at him as though seeing him for the first time. "You actually did it," she whispered. Her tone wasn't mocking anymore. It was awe. "Yeah," he replied almost shyly. "Told you I'd do my best." And then came the moment no one expected. Little Lily ran into the shop, her backpack bouncing behind her. "Daddy," she squealed, throwing her arms around his grease-stained legs. Daniel scooped her up, kissing her forehead. For a moment, the tough CEO with the expensive shoes and commanding presence felt something unravel inside her. The walls she'd built in boardrooms, the armor she wore to survive in a world that expected perfection, cracked open. She saw not just a mechanic, but a man who loved with his whole heart, who fought every day not for status or money, but for something she realized she had long forgotten: family. The room was silent, all eyes flicking between the CEO and the single dad, waiting to see what she would do. Victoria smiled faintly, the first genuine smile anyone had seen from her that day. "Well," she said softly, almost to herself, "a deal's a deal." Daniel chuckled, shaking his head. I don't need that, he said, holding Lily tighter. I just needed to fix the car. But something had already shifted in her heart. She saw him differently now, not as a man beneath her, but as someone who reminded her of values she had lost chasing success. That day, she didn't just leave with a working car. She left with a story that would haunt her boardroom decisions, her late-night reflections, and her understanding of what truly mattered. Because sometimes life's greatest lessons don't come from skyscrapers or stock markets. They come from a single dad with grease on his hands, a daughter on his hip, and a promise he refuses to break.